Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Meganadha. In this module, I'll explain you what is an abstract class with a real-world example so that you'll understand clearly. Normally, testers and developers find understanding abstract classes difficult, but I'll make sure to explain you in such a way that you'll remember it for a long time and the concept you'll understand very clearly. So, to understand an abstract class, I would like to take a real-time example of salary processing. Now, when you want to process salary, let's assume in India, so these are the components that must be there in salary components. Now basic, we should have basic, and PF stands for Provident Fund, and HRA stands for House Rent Allowance, and TA stands for Travel Allowance, and SA, let's assume it's a Special Allowance. Now let's assume that every company in India has to give all these components, and the special allowance can be maybe Government of India, let's assume, said 1000 is the minimum special allowance that every employee in India should get it. And travel allowance depends on the city that you're working on. If it's a metro city, they'll give some amount. If it's a normal town, they'll give some amount. But let's assume all these components are mandatory for every company. And this PF is a fixed standard amount of 12% of basic. And HRA is a fixed standard amount of 40% of basic. Let's assume that every company in India has to follow this, and this is given by government rule, so which let's assume for our understanding. So now I repeat, so salary components are these five: basic, PF, HRA, TA and SA. Now PF stands for Provident Fund, HRA stands for House Rent Allowance, and these two components are mandatory. And also these two components has a fixed pay, which is 12% of basic and 40% of basic for every company in India. Just for our understanding, we assume like this. And TA and SA, it's different for every company. Let's assume that there is ABC company in Hyderabad which pays 5000 travel allowance. There is PQR company in Hyderabad which will pay 2000 travel allowance. So these two components, there are no restrictions. It can depend on the company. And now I want to write a software for this. Now let's assume that I have to create a software for this salary component, processing salary. So I want to write 4 methods in that. For now, forget about this component. I want to write 4 methods: PF, HRA, TA and SA. Now how do we write it? Now let's go to Eclipse and create a new project, and let's see. I just open Eclipse IDE. Now the project that we are working on now is, the lecture is 40, so I'll create new project. I'll quickly create Java project, click on next, and I'll give the project name as project 40 and click on next. And I don't want to create module info, uncheck that and click on finish. Now it'll just create a project for me. So I have my project here. Now as usual, first I'll create a package. So right click on this new package, and I'll be writing here my package and click finish. Now I just created a package. Now what I need to do here is I need to create a salary component. So right click on this new class. I'll create a new class, and here I'll be writing, I'll do it main method. With main method, I'll write here my class. Now this is my package, and let me increase the font size, Control Shift plus. So I'm just increasing the font size, Control Shift plus. Okay, done. Now what I will do is, let me collapse the tabs that I don't need anymore for now. Yeah, I just collapsed it. Now what is the class that I have to create? The class that I have to create is salary. Let's assume I'll create here salary. Class salary. And I'll be writing here, so let's assume for now only 4, right? So one is PF, basic, we'll keep it aside for now. One is HRA, one is travel allowance, one is special allowance. Now as I told you, PF and HRA is driven by the Government of India for now. For understanding purpose, it should be exactly 12% of basic. And HRA should be exactly 40% of basic. Now these four components every company in India has to give for understanding purpose. Now what I'll do here, I created class salary. Now I'll write first method. So public. For now understanding, just put int get. I'll write here PF. And for calculating PF, you need basic as a parameter. So I'll write here int basic. And how much percentage I told? It's 12%, right? So I'll just write return 12 star basic divided by 100. So that's how we calculate. So this method, let's take, I'm giving here 1000 as input. And what will be 12% of 1000? It's 120. So what this will do here, 12 star 1000 divided by 100. So this will return 120. So this method will calculate 12% of basic. Now I'm written a method name as PF. Okay, done. Now I need what? Public int get HRA. And HRA also depends on basic, int basic. And now I have to write return 40 star basic divided by 100. Now this method will return 40% of the basic, and I'm done with get PF and get HRA. Now the company that approached me, let's assume, is paying, let's take public int get, what is the third one, get TA, travel allowance. Now travel allowance doesn't depend on the basic, and it all depends on the company. So let's take the company which we are talking about. Let's put here class company ABC has approached me to do this software. So the company ABC said, okay, we'll pay 5,000 as travel allowance. So return, everything is in rupees, let's assume 5,000 rupees. And the last one is public int get special allowance, and let's assume this company pays special allowance of 10,000 for every employee. Now everything, guys, this is all for our understanding purpose. The numbers are just for example. Now in this case, I have written this class ABC, which has PF, get HRA, 40% of basic, get TA, and get SA. Now all good. So I'll call these methods from main method, and I'll calculate the total salary of all these four components plus basic. I'll do it. Now let's assume that the software become very popular, and one more company called XYZ also approached me to process their salary as well. Now what I'll do here, I'll be writing here class XYZ. This is for the company XYZ. And now for XYZ also, I need to reuse the same methods, because these two methods are driven by Government of India. So same logic I had to follow. So I'll copy all the four methods, because all the four methods are mandatory for every company. So I added here PF, HRA, and TA is not same for all the companies. XYZ said they're only giving 2,000 as travel allowance, and special allowance they're giving only 6,000. Now in this case, the code is not good, because I am duplicating these two methods. So in class, because company ABC gives four components, company XYZ also gives four components, but in this case I'm duplicating PF and HRA, which is not a good coding. Now let's assume that in future one more class PQR has approached me. So what I'll do here, I will write one more class PQR, and I'll be copying the same methods. I'll copy the same methods and I'll paste it here, and I cannot change this because this is driven by the Government of India. And get TA, maybe the class PQR gives 4,000 as TA, and special allowance is 1,000 only they're giving. So now my software works for three companies, which is ABC company, XYZ company, and PQR company. Now the problem is that in case if in future Government of India says like, okay, the basic will be 15% from now. I mean PF will be 15% of basic. So I have to change here, I have to change here, and I have to change here. So all companies, maybe in future my company has become very popular in processing salary, so many companies approach me to add, can you add our company as well for salary processing. So I had to keep on writing classes, so which is not good. I mean I had to keep on duplicating the same methods here. So what I can do here is I can write a super class here, and I can write a class salary. I'll write like this, and inside this class salary I'll put only these two methods. Now I'll put these two methods, and now what I'll do is I'll delete here from here, and I'll delete from here as well. I'm deleting from here as well. Now what I'll do is I'll extend this salary class for all these ABC and all, so that I'll get, as a parent class, I can get these methods as well. So what I'll do here, I'll write here extends, and we learned it in inheritance, right? So extend salary. Now if someone asks you how many methods are there in ABC, for direct methods we only have two. But since we are inheriting the salary class, we'll get the salary class methods as well. So in ABC we have total 4 methods now. So similarly here also I can write here extends salary, and this way this is good now because there is no duplicate code, and extends salary. Now there is no duplicate code, and in case in future if there is a change in PF formula, so we just need to change in salary. So all good. Now what I need now is, let's take one more company has also approached me. Let's assume it's MNR company. So I'll just write here class MNR. Now I'll write here extends and salary. Now one of my developer who is writing the software has written only one method, TA, which the company said, MNR said TA will be 20,000. Now he forgot to put the method special elements. So he only added one method. He forgot to put special elements, and he said he has added. He has added all the methods. He forgot to put the method SA. Now in this case the code will not give any error. Now if any developer forgets to implement any mandatory method, so I don't see any errors here. You can see here there are no red lines, everything is fine, there are no errors. Now but I want to make sure that any developer who is actually creating a class must write the 4 methods. Indirectly we get it from salary 2 methods, and he also must write the 2 methods that are required, because all the 4 components are mandatory. So in this case, if a developer misses to write any method, I'm not getting error. So to overcome this, we want to create a template which every developer should have. Now what I can do here is I'll make this salary class as an abstract class. Now I'll explain what is an abstract class. Before making that as an abstract class, so what are the 2 more methods that I require? So I require public int get or public int get TA, and I also require so I cannot write something here because TA is not common for all the classes. I mean, TA is not common for all the same, not same for all the companies. So I cannot write some value there. So what I can do here is I leave this method as an abstract method which will not have any body. So I'll just write here public abstract, and I don't write any method body for it, and now I'll write here public abstract, and I'll writing int get SA. Now I have 2 abstract methods, and I want to make this class as abstract if I have some abstract methods. So let's make the class as abstract, because a normal class cannot have abstract methods. So if I have an abstract method, I have to make the class as abstract. Now let's try to understand why I'm doing all this. Now if I have a class as abstract class, so this is an abstract class, can have normal methods as well as abstract methods. Now what is the catch here is, any class that extends an abstract class must override these methods. So that even if any developer forgets to implement some method, it will give an error. I repeat, the main purpose of an abstract class is 2 things. One is reusability. So the methods which has body will be reused in the error class, and the methods which doesn't have body, which are abstract methods, must be implemented by the error class. Now in this case, if I go back, I'm getting an error. So this is not giving error for me, this is not giving error for me, and this is not giving error for me. But this MNR is giving error for me. So when I move the mouse on this, I can see an error. So the type MNR, so you can, if you see here, the type MNR must implement inherited abstract member get special elements. So in that case, if a developer is getting some error, he will never forget to implement that, because if I'm a developer, if I see a red line, and I cannot say that the code is done. So that is the use of an abstract class. I repeat once again, an abstract class can contain normal methods for reusability, and also the purpose of abstract methods is to make sure that every derived class must implement the abstract methods. So an abstract class acts like a template where the methods with body will be reused, and the methods without body, that those are abstract methods, will or must be implemented by the derived class. So now what I have to do here, I must write here public int get SA, and I'll be writing here return, let's take the company said 1000. So now the error is gone. So that's the use of an abstract class. Now let me open Notepad and just write here. Now an abstract class, I'll write some points which all of you have to know it. Now an abstract class can contain normal methods, and second one can contain abstract methods. Now the normal methods that are there in abstract class will be used for reusability, and the abstract methods that are present in the abstract class ensures that derived class must implement the method, must implement or override the method. And now one more point that you have to make sure, that since we have this abstract class salary which is having abstract methods, we don't have method body, so I cannot instantiate, like I cannot write salary is obj is equal to new salary. I cannot write like this. Now when I write like this, because this is an abstract class which has an abstract method, like, so I cannot see here, cannot instantiate the type salary. But there is one point is I can create an object salary obj. So there is a difference between object and instantiation. So I can create an object, but I cannot write like new salary. So if someone asks you, can you create an object for abstract class? Yes. Can you instantiate an abstract class? No. Now what is the use of creating object then if I cannot write new salary? Now what I can do is I can point to this object to, let's take I'm creating salary object. Now I can write obj is equal to new ABC. Now I can create an object of ABC. So this is an abstract class, this is a parent class for ABC. So using object of salary, I can point to ABC. And don't worry. And also I can also point to obj is equal to new PQR. So when you create an object for an abstract class, you can point to any instance of the derived classes, any of the derived classes. So if you don't have this option, right, for ABC you have to create one object, for PQR you have to create one object. Here we are using the same object. So anyway, don't worry about this. For now, assume that if you have an abstract class, you cannot instantiate it, but you can create an object. When you create an object for an abstract class, you can use that object to refer to any instance of the derived classes. And the main purpose of an abstract class is for reusability and to ensure that the derived classes must implement. Now, there is one more good thing about this is, now one good thing about Eclipse IDE is, now let's take, I delete this. Now I'm getting an error. So must implement. Now there is a shortcut for adding the method bodies here. Now when I click on this red line and I can write here add unimplemented methods, when I click on this, automatically it will add those two abstract methods. So your Eclipse already identifies that, okay, salary class has two abstract classes, abstract methods, which I must override. So it's a good practice to use override keyword. And here I can write return. So I can write here return. Let's take 4,000. Or I can write whatever the company MNR says. I can write it here. So return 1,000. So that way it will help me to create the methods template as it is. To create all the abstract methods, I'll get it template here. What I've done, I just had to move the mouse on this and click on this add unimplemented methods, and it'll add here the abstract methods which are there, and I can write the body here. Okay, so I hope you're clear with abstract class. And one final thoughts. Let me open Notepad. Now an abstract class, which everyone should know. Now first one can have normal methods which are used for reusability. Second, can have abstract methods which are used to ensure that the derived class implement them. And now a normal class. Now when you take a normal class, now can have normal methods and cannot have abstract methods. Now if this, let's take for example, if this is a normal class, let me explain this. Now if I remove this abstract, now I cannot have abstract methods. So a normal class cannot have abstract methods. Now let's go back. So a normal class cannot have abstract methods. Now one more thing, third point for abstract class, we can create an object of abstract class but cannot instantiate it. Now fourth point, object of the abstract class can point to instance of any derived class. So these points, all of you should know it. So make sure that you revise these points and be very clear with these points. So that's all you have to know about abstract class for now. So I hope you're clear with abstract class. Practice this and see errors, try to get it. And thank you, and see you in the next module.